Lord, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let everyone know today that you are God in Israel, and that I am your servant and have done all this in obedience to your word. Answer me, Lord, answer me, so that these people recognize that you, Lord, are God, and that you are turning their hearts to you. What a beautiful prayer and request. God once again in his grace showing himself to his rebellious, idolatrous and unbelieving people, showing his mercy by giving indubitable proof of his presence and grace towards his people, calling them back to himself. That is our great covenant God. At that moment the fire of the Lord fell and burned the burnt offering, the wood, the stones and the ground, and even licked the water from the ditch. When they saw this, they all fell down and exclaimed, "The Lord is God! The Lord is God!" What an emotional moment. Baal, the god of thunder, had proven to be a fraud. The supposed God to whom they had given their lives had proven to be a simple piece of stone that was of no use. There is only one living and true God, and that day they recognized who he was. The Lord is God. The Lord is the only living and true God. How easily we can exchange the living and true God for false gods. How easy it is to trust our lives to temporary, fragile and limited things, instead of trusting in him who is the rock of the ages. That day the people were able to recognize who God truly was. That was a very high day for the prophet Elijah. It was one of those mountain-top experiences. A solitary prophet, but he came from the great God of the covenant, the God of Israel, the living and true God. As part of that judgment on idolaters, Elijah slaughtered the 400 prophets of Baal to eradicate the worship of this false god in Israel. My brothers, in those moments at the top of the mountain, in our highest moments, those of greatest strength, of greatest power, we depend on our great God of the covenant. This whole history teaches us that Elijah was a clay vessel. That day on Mount Carmel it was not the power of the prophet that was manifested, but it was the power of the living and true God on whom the prophet depended. If right now you are experiencing one of those highest points in your life, if you are being prosperous, if you are in a moment in which you experience advances, power, blessing in your life, do not forget that you and I are clay vessels. We are not there because we are very sagacious, intelligent, industrious, but we are at that point because our great Lord of the covenant, merciful, supports us, always calling us from our idols to his truth, always with his grace. 540. Holding us upright. At all times we depend on our covenant Lord. In our highest moments, we depend on our covenant Lord. After this great and memorable event, Elijah separated from Ahab. 1 Kings 19, 1-3 tells us what happened. Next, Ahab told Jezebel everything Elijah had done and how he had killed all the prophets with the edge of the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah to say, "May the gods punish me mercilessly if I have not taken your life by this time tomorrow as you took theirs." Elijah